Get ready for the action, because Joshua Van made history at UFC 328 with an epic fifth-round submission victory over Tatsuro Terra, solidifying him as the undisputed flyweight champion. But the drama doesn't end there, because we look at the betting odds right now for Van as he faces Alexander Pantoja and Manel Kape in upcoming matchups. We break down exactly what the books are saying about this heavyweight showdown and what it all means for the future of the division.
Never get caught with a dead phone again. This INIU portable charger is compact, travel-friendly, and gives you fast 45-watt charging with a built-in USB-C cable, so there's no need to carry extra cords. With 10,000 mAh power, it's perfect for busy days, trips, emergencies, or anytime your battery drops too low. Grab yours on Amazon through the link in the comments before your phone hits 1%.
Next up, we dive deep into the intense battle that was UFC 328, focusing on Khamzat Chimaev's performance against Sean Strickland. We explore the shocking reasons why the commentator Joe Rogan suggested Chimaev hit a wall in the second round, analyzing the potential impact of weight cutting and the intense rivalry between these two fighters. We continue our look at the aftermath of UFC 328 by examining the future trajectory for both Sean Strickland and Khamzat Chimaev. We discuss the options available for Strickland's next title challenge and whether Chimaev will move up in weight, all while looking at the other rising stars on the card. Finally, we take a massive look back at the career of Ronda Rousey as she finally opens up about the messy end of her UFC career. We hear her candid assessment of the neurological issues she faced and how that experience has fundamentally changed her perspective on the entire landscape of the sport, and what this means for the future of MMA. Joshua Van has cemented his status as the undisputed flyweight champion following an epic performance at UFC 328. Van secured his first title defense with a fifth-round submission victory over Tatsuro Terra in the co-main event, an event widely hailed as the fight of the night, at the Prudential Center in Newark. Despite this significant win, Van remains the betting underdog in upcoming matchups against Alexander Pantoja and Manel Kape, according to bookmakers at BetOnlineAg. Van is listed at plus 150 for a potential do-over against Pantoja and plus 135 for a title defense against Kape, contingent upon Starby winning his upcoming rematch against Kyoji Horiguchi in June. Conversely, Manel Kape is favored at minus 175, and Alexander Pantoja is favored at minus 255. Van previously defeated Pantoja at UFC 323 after Kape sustained an arm injury. Backstage at UFC 328, Van addressed the ongoing narrative surrounding the rivalry, stating, "I saw Pantoja and shook his hand. I don't have a problem. But I don't like him making it seem like I'm the bad guy. We fought and you fell and broke your hand. If you want to run it, be respectful. You don't have to make all these stories." A timeline for Joshua Van's next Octagon appearance has not yet been officially announced. UFC commentator Joe Rogan has offered a potential explanation for Khamzat Chimaev's fatigue during his loss to Sean Strickland at UFC 328, where Chimaev lost his UFC middleweight title via split decision. The closely contested 5-round bout saw Strickland secure the victory, with 2 of the 3 judges siding with him. Analysis of the fight suggested that Strickland's superior gas tank played a significant role, particularly in the second round, when Chimaev appeared to falter and was taken down, allowing Strickland to establish top position and inflict damage. Chimaev struggled to recover from this setback through the middle rounds, ultimately leading to the decision loss. Speaking on the UFC on Paramount Plus post-fight show, Rogan pointed toward Chimaev's weight management as a key factor. Rogan suggested that Chimaev may have been overbulking in preparation for a potential 205-pound fight against Jiří Procházka, rather than preparing for the 185-pound middleweight bout against Strickland. Rogan theorized that this attempt to bulk up made the weight cut to middleweight significantly more difficult, causing Chimaev to deplete his body reserves during the process, which subsequently resulted in exhaustion during the fight. This revelation was surprising given Chimaev's seemingly invincible performance prior to the Strickland fight. Following the defeat, Firas Zahabi of Tristar Gym extended an invitation to Chimaev to train with him and UFC legend Georges St. Pierre in Montreal. Zahabi believes he can help address Chimaev's alleged gas tank issues, urging him to train in Canada to improve his conditioning, citing St. Pierre's legendary cardio as a benchmark. Experts suggest that, for Chimaev to succeed moving forward, developing a superior gas tank is crucial, as elite fighters frequently leverage cardio as a decisive weapon. Sean Strickland has secured his second UFC title reign, defeating Khamzat Chimaev via split decision in the main event of UFC 328. Following this victory, Strickland now faces a crucial decision regarding his next opponent, with a potential rematch against Chimaev being a strong possibility. The fight has raised questions about the future of both fighters. Meanwhile, Khamzat Chimaev's performance has prompted speculation about his future, including whether he will move up to 205 pounds or remain at 185 pounds. The latest edition of the MMA Fighting Podcast, On to the Next One, features Mike Heck and Alexander K. Lee dissecting these developments. The discussion covers potential challengers for Strickland's next title defense and analyzes Chimaev's trajectory. The podcast also looks ahead to future matchups, including possibilities for Joshua Van following his successful title defense against Tatsuro Terra, alongside highlights from main card standouts like Alexander Volkov, Sean Brady, and King Green. Listeners are encouraged to watch the UFC 328 edition of the podcast or find audio versions on major podcast platforms. Ronda Rousey has finally provided a candid account of the challenging end to her professional MMA career, reflecting on the neurological issues that led to her retirement. Nearly a decade after her last fight, Rousey discussed the internal struggle she faced following her first loss to Holly Holm in 2015, revealing that the decline in her health was more than just a single defeat. Rousey explained that she was dealing with worsening neurological issues that culminated in her feeling she could no longer compete, stating, "Man, I can't fight anymore." She detailed the intense pressure and misunderstanding she experienced, noting that the physical symptoms, such as severe migraines and loss of depth perception during a fight, were compounded by the fear of being judged based on her performance. Rousey expressed frustration that people assumed she was fabricating her struggles, emphasizing that neurological problems are invisible injuries that nobody else can see. She revealed that seeking help from the Cleveland Clinic led to a diagnosis of migraine aura and preventative medication, which was life-changing and allowed her to compete again. Rousey, who was instrumental in breaking barriers for women in the UFC, had previously retired after persistent issues resurfaced. However, her recent return to the ring, teaming up with Gina Carano under Jake Paul's Most Valuable Promotions on Netflix, signals a renewed focus on disruption. Rousey framed her return not just as a personal comeback, but as a strategic move to change the landscape of the sport. She believes her path, including her eventual departure, was necessary to create leverage for fighters, citing the changing media environment and the rise of streaming platforms like Netflix. Looking forward, Rousey expressed ambition to become a powerful figure in the sport, suggesting she could be as influential as Dana White. She asserted that her journey, including the messy end of her career, was meant to pave the way for future change, stating, "Everything happens for a reason the exact way that it's meant to go." Rousey remains determined to push boundaries, feeling she is meant to take the brunt of the pressure to benefit the entire fighting community.